Over the last 60 years, James Bond has changed both his face and his style. He got taller, shorter, younger, blonder. He started out Scottish, then Aussie, English, Welsh, and Irish. But somehow, he's always the same man. Or is he? Because a fan theory that pops up every so often says that James Bond isn't a person at all, but a codename passed from one agent to another. And if it's true, it changes everything we thought we knew about Bond. Superficially, it does kind of make sense. It explains the changing actors and some of the shifting timelines. But here's the million-dollar question. Does it actually hold up? In this video, I'm digging into the James Bond codename theory to see if it actually works. I'll look at how it came about, the evidence for, the evidence against, before finally reaching my conclusion. Is it something for the fringes of fandom, or is there something the movies aren't telling us? So, let's dive in and see. The first mention I can find of the codename theory online is from 2002. In fact, the theory appears to have originated with none other than Lee Tamahori, director of Die Another Day. In an interview before the film's release, he was talking about the idea he'd had to have Sean Connery as well as Pierce Brosnan. He said, "My idea was basically that there have been several Bonds. It's just a prefix and a codename. Even James Bond is not the guy's name. That's the way I've always been able to view these things, from when Connery left and Lazenby and Moore took over, right up to Brosnan." So, we know where the theory came from. The big question is, why do people believe it? Well, for one thing, it explains the different actors and their different portrayals of Bond. For example, Sean Connery's Bond was very different to Roger Moore's much lighter-hearted approach to Bond. It can also be used to explain George Lazenby saying,
"This never happened to the other fella."
Staying with On Her Majesty's Secret Service, it might explain why Blofeld doesn't recognise Bond, even though in You Only Live Twice, he had captured him at one stage. What about Casino Royale? Generally, it's treated as a reboot, but the codename theory would also explain why James Bond is a rookie in that film. Perhaps it's the reason Judi Dench is M with Pierce Brosnan and with rookie Daniel Craig. And when James Bond is killed at the end of No Time to Die, they can simply bring a new agent and call him James Bond. There's no reboot required. So there are a few things there that seem to back the codename theory at some level. But what about the evidence against? Well, at a very general level, there's continuity between the Bonds with the way that they introduce themselves, their preference for vodka martinis, shaken not stirred, and the way that they introduce themselves. Let's go back to On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Same old James, only more so, says Moneypenny. Bond is at his desk going through his drawers reminiscing after he thinks he's resigned from the service. Those all point to it being the same James Bond as the previous films, which, I don't think I need to remind you, was Sean Connery. Tracy's death is referenced indirectly by Agent XXX in The Spy Who Loved Me, and in For Your Eyes Only, Bond actually visits her grave. The year on the gravestone even matches On Her Majesty's Secret Service. It's the same Bond. And in Skyfall, Bond takes M to his ancestral home. That's the clincher. He was born a Bond. So there's the actor changes, the timeline inconsistencies, the personality changes. All of that makes it easy to believe James Bond could be a codename and not an individual man. But when it comes down to it, the codename theory doesn't stand up to much scrutiny at all. The films themselves reference past missions, maintain continuity between different actors, and give Bond a personal history, complete with family, traumas, and even family graves. So ultimately, it doesn't add up at all. James Bond is supposed to be one person, no matter who he's played by.